Welcome to Literary Psyche, where the mind meets meaning. Today, we will see the introduction to psychology. In this, we will cover the WH questions, the basics of psychology, then we will move forward to the psychology as discipline, and last but not the least, we will understand the mind and our behavior. Let's break down the psychology using the classic WH questions. Simple, clear, and perfect for beginners. First question is, what is psychology? Psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. It explores how we think, feel, learn, and act, both as individuals and in groups. The next question is, why we study psychology? To understand ourselves and others better. Psychology helps improve mental health, build better relationships, boost learnings, solve problems, and even enhance work and leadership skills. The third question is, when did psychology start? Psychology as a science began in 1879 when Wilhelm Wundt established the first psychology lab in Germany. But interest in human behavior goes back to ancient Greece and India. The next WH question is, where? Where is psychology used? Psychology is used everywhere, in schools, hospitals, workplace, courts, sports, media, advertising, armies, everything. Even in daily conversations also. Psychology helps us in education, therapy, crime investigations, and many more things. The next question is, who? Who studies psychology? Psychology is studied by psychologists, counselors, therapists, researchers, and students like you. Some study how the brain works, while others help people cope with anxiety, trauma, learning issues, or social behaviors. The last question is how? How is psychology studied? Psychology is studied through observations, experiments, surveys, case studies, brain scans, and interviews. Psychologists use scientific methods to explore behavior and mental processes. When studying psychology, especially as beginner, it's important to approach it with the right mindset and strategies. Now the shown list will show you what to keep in mind while studying psychology. Whether you are preparing for exams or trying to understand just the human behavior better. These are the things to remember. The first point is, psychology is a science. Psychology isn't just common sense or guesswork. It relies on research, experiment, and evidences. We should be open to challenging assumptions and myth. For example, we only use 10% of our brain, which is a myth. And also, the third point is, learn about research methods such as experiments, case studies, observation, and surveys. That's why psychology comes under science. Understand the key concepts, don't just memorize it. Instead of rote learning, grasping the meaning behind the terms like conditioning, cognition, or reinforcement, we should apply theories to real life examples to understand them better. Example, relate to the Pavlov's dog experiment to habits and triggers. This will not just help you clear your concept but also help you remember this thing. So, remember to understand the concept and not just memorize it. Always be curious and open minded. Psychology covers diverse topics like emotions, memory, personality, mental illness, brain functions, development, etc. We should always stay curious and ask questions like, why do people behave like this? What affects memory? How does stress impact health? Etc. People are very complex. There is no one size fits all explanation for human behavior or their mind. Different perspectives like biological, behavioral, cognitive, psychoanalytical, humanistic, etc. explains behavior in different ways. We will learn in further videos all these aspects and perspectives. Ethics matter the most. Psychology involves working with people's emotion, trauma, and behavior. So, ethics are extremely important. We should learn about confidentiality, consent, non harm, and cultural sensitivity in psychological research and studies, and we should use it in our practice. This will help to create a better understanding and trust between the psychologist and its patient. Mental health is a core component. Understanding mental health is a key. Not just disorders, but coping mechanisms, emotional resilience, and therapy. We should focus on approaching the mental health topics with empathy and respect. Stay updated with psychology. Psychology is constantly evolving with new discoveries in brain science, therapy, AI, and behavior studies. Follow trusted sources like American Psychological Association, that is APA, or research journals, or the DSM-5 for mental health problems to stay informed and well updated with this. Try to apply psychology in daily life. Psychology becomes meaningful when you apply it to your own experiences, relationships, habits, and challenges. Notice how psychological concepts show up in movies, news, social media, education, work, etc. Everything has psychology in it. Practice critical thinking. Don't just accept every theory or study at its face value. Learn to question the methods, biases, and limitations. Ask the question: was the sample size large enough? Were the results generalized? Were the cultural factors considered? Think very critically and question those studies and the methods you learn. Respect diversity and cultural differences. Psychology is not the same across all cultures. What's considered normal or healthy varies. Learn to appreciate cultural psychology and avoid being judgmental of behaviors that seem different. We do not need to judge everyone based on their culture and their perspective in their life. Psychology is one of the most fascinating fields of study. But what exactly is it? Is it a science, a social science, or something in between? Let's break it down. Psychology as science. Psychology is a science because it studies human behavior and mental processes using the scientific method. Psychologists make observations from hypotheses, conduct experiments, and draw conclusions. Like biology or chemistry, psychology relies on data, evidence, and analysis. For example, researchers might test how sleep affects memory by controlling variables and measuring outcomes in a lab. Psychology also comes under a social science because it deals with human beings and how they interact in society. It overlaps with fields like sociology, anthropology, and economics. Psychologists explore topics like relationships, culture, group behavior, and social norms. For example, social psychologists may study how peer pressure affects teenager decision making. Now, psychology and natural science. Psychology is closely linked to natural science like biology and neuroscience. The brain is a biological organ, so understanding how neurons fire, how the nervous system works, and how hormones influence mood is crucial. For example, biopsychologists study how changes in brain chemistry affect behavior, emotions, or mental health disorders. So, psychology is a truly multidisciplinary subject. It draws from science, explores society, and connects to nature, all to understand the human mind and behavior better. Okay, so I have a question for you. Have you ever stopped to wonder what's going on inside your mind? Or why we behave the way we do? In this topic and the next topic, we will explore two major psychological concepts: the levels of the mind and the types of behavior. Part 1 will be understanding human mind. According to psychology, especially Sigmund Freud, the mind operates on three levels. First, the conscious mind. This is the part of the mind we are fully aware of. It's where our current thoughts, feelings, and perception lives. Like focusing on this video right now. That is your conscious mind working. Second is preconscious mind. Just below the surface. This level stores memory and knowledge that aren't active right now but can be easily recalled, like your best friend's birthday or your childhood home. Now, the unconscious mind. This is the deepest and most hidden part. It stores suppressed emotions, unresolved conflicts, fear, and desires that influence our behavior without us even realizing it. Now, let's talk about behavior. The actions and responses we show, psychologists often group it into three types. Physical behavior, these are observable external actions like walking, speaking, eating, or watching this video right now. Mental behavior, these happens internally like thinking, problem solving, or imagining. You can't see them, but they're always happening inside. The next is and last is spiritual behavior. These relate to values, beliefs, and deeper sense of purpose, like praying, meditating, or seeking inner peace. By understanding these layers of mind and the different types of behavior, we begin to unlock the true complexity of human experience and learn more about ourselves and others. And that wraps up our introduction to psychology. We have just scratched the surface. There's a lot more to explore in the fascinating world of the mind and behavior. The next video will dive even deeper, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. Have any questions or thought about what we covered today? Drop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and I will be explaining your questions in upcoming videos. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep exploring the psyche. This is Literary Psyche signing off for now. Thank you.